Welcome to Lotus Flower Wellness Temple. We are coming to you live from Tallahassee, Florida, and Railroad Square. And so I just want to thank everyone for joining today. Thank you so much. And if you're on the live, I want to welcome you here. You're here in spirit and energy. So just want to say namaste. Today we're going to be talking about right livelihood in the Noble Eightfold Path of Buddhism, and we're going to get a lot out of it. But we're going to start by opening the session up with some breath work, and also we're going to do a body scan meditation. So first and foremost, I'm going to do a quick saging, clear out the energy of the room, and invite in some amazing flow energy. Okay, now we're going to start what's called the infinity breath. So the infinity breath is called the infinity breath because the way that you breathe is shaped like an infinity sign, or number 8. So before we start, we're going to blow out all of our old stale energy and air to the extent that we can blow it out. And we'll do a little pause there at the end. And then when we breathe back in, that first loop is going to be the bottom, and when you're holding, you're going to be in the center. And then when you breathe back in, you just want to visualize like cosmic light, just beautiful colors of energy, fresh air, connection to oneness. And you're going to breathe that in and then cycle that through the top loop, holding just a second in the center again. And then you'll just continue to flow that breath like the infinity sign. So is everybody ready? All right, so we'll start by blowing out all of our stale air. Hold in that center, and then just gently breathe in. And then hold, and just flow your breath. And then everyone can just get in your own sync of what feels comfortable and right for you, and just focus on your breath for just a minute. Very well. All right, so now we're going to go into the body scan meditation. And we're going to start by just gently closing our eyes, if you wish. And just focus all your attention on your breathing still yet. And kind of corroborate that with being aware of your feet and your toes, and just feeling that energy there. And just with at each breath, you just want to feel it rising up your body, making its way up through your chakra systems, your energy points. Just breathe that air and that energy up. Now you'll feel it in your legs and your hips. And just breathe that through and up your energy center. And now you want to put your awareness in your belly, your ribs, and just breathe that air and energy up through there. Pull that energy up your body and your spine. Now you feel it in your heart, and just feel your heart chakra and your heart just expand. Breathe, filling up just much more capacity. Feel that energy rising up into your throat. You may feel the urge to do a little hum. And just feel that energy rising up now to your third eye. And breathe into that. A little deeper if you like. Feel the tingling sensation as the energy rises to the crown. Feel it flowing up and outwardly. Just relax your whole body and just feel the energy tingling through your entire being. Yes. When you're ready, you can start to open your eyes. Wonderful. Welcome and loved here. Everyone's on their spiritual path and just at different parts and points, and we in this path we learn to have a compassion and a love and an acceptance for all different energies and people that are at all different places of their path. And so we extend that love for ourselves, and that just branches out of us like a tree, extending that to everyone. And that's a part of the process that starts to happen naturally when we start to have that compassion and acceptance for ourselves. So next we're going to do our Sambujo chant. So if everyone will grab the paper in front of you here. And the words will be on the screen as well. We're going to get right into that now. So with this chant, I'll do the first part, and then you guys are gonna do this part right here, and we'll get to that, and you'll catch on. If you don't quite get it the first time, just the humming, the vibration is great too. Jo, you, ni, da, yo, ri, ni, this one's for all.
want to thank everybody for coming. This means a lot to me, and I'm doing what I'm very passionate about, which is helping and healing people and helping people guided back to their own personal truth and finding joy and happiness in the life now. So there are ways of thinking and just really simple kind of aha moments when you realize those, you can start to make little shifts and changes that really do affect your life on a grand level. And so being aware of those really can give you a real good shot at having some happiness and really finding your soul's path and purpose here in this lifetime. That's my passion and my joy is to help people reach that. You know, enlightenment is something that's a lifelong process and it continually happens.
All right. So next we want to welcome the Buddhas of all times and ages and future Buddhas to join us energetically, spiritually here in our communion today. So if we can all read the first page at the bottom here, and we can do it together. We respectfully welcome Amida Buddha to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We respectfully welcome Sakyaman Buddha to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We respectfully welcome the Buddhas of all times and places to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. Excellent. And then we're going to get into the 6 pyramidas, which is on the next page if you want to flip. I'll read the leader part and then we'll all say the all together. So the first pyramida is about giving. May I be generous and helpful. Guidance. May I be guided by the Buddhist precepts. Tolerance. May I regard the mistakes of others with my sympathy. Perseverance. May I do my best in all things. Meditation. May I reflect deeply on my life through the Buddhist teachings. Insight.
May I understand the meaning
Meanings
of
of
Nama
Nama Amida Buddhist.
Okay.
Awesome. And then I'm going to read the vows, the Buddhasava vows, and we're just going to read the very first one. And that's on the next page. Buddhas are numberless. I vow to save them. Desires are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's way is unsurpassable. I vow to become it. Namaste.
Namaste.
So today we are talking about, as I said before, the Noble Eightfold Path, and we are on right livelihood today. So we've worked our way up to here, and so we're going to just jump right in it with this short introduction.
Right livelihood in Buddhism is about earning a living in a way that supports ethical conduct and promotes well-being for ourselves and others. It teaches us to choose work that doesn't harm others or the environment, aligning our careers with compassion and integrity. By avoiding occupations that cause suffering, like dealing in weapons or exploiting others, we cultivate peace within ourselves. Right livelihood is a powerful practice of mindfulness, reminding us that our work is part of the spiritual path. It encourages us to bring awareness into how we earn and spend money. Living this way, we contribute to the world in positive ways, promoting kindness, honesty, and harmony. It's about finding purpose in what we do and making a difference. As we align with right livelihood, we build a life of balance and inner peace. This practice helps us grow in wisdom and compassion. Right livelihood in Buddhism is about earning a living in a way that supports ethical conduct and promotes well-being for ourselves and others. It teaches us.
All right. So, at the heart of Buddhism lies the Noble Eightfold Path, a comprehensive guide to leading a meaningful and fulfilling life. Each aspect of this path serves as sort of a compass, right? Guiding us towards a life of harmony, wisdom, and wisdom. Now imagine a piece of this compass, an integral part of it that guides us in our everyday actions and decisions. This is where right livelihood comes into play. It is one of the aspects of the Eightfold Path, a principle that encourages us to earn a living in a manner that is ethical, fair, and beneficial to all. So, are you ready to delve deeper into this concept here today of right livelihood? I sure am. So, you might be wondering what exactly is right livelihood, right? So, well, that's great, because I'm here to answer that for you. So the meaning of right livelihood. Right livelihood is a critical aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path in Buddhism. And it is all about how we make our living. But it is not just about having a job or making money. It's also about working in a way that is ethical, honest, creating a positive impact on this world and the world around us, right? So imagine you're a painter. You could use the talent to create beautiful works of art that inspire and uplift people, but only, or you could choose to use your skill and your talent, your flow, to defraud people and forge famous paintings, right? You can make a choice on which way you're going to go. Are you going to be skillful or unskillful with it? So, right livelihood is teaching us and reminding us how to stay in that flow of skillful livelihood. Livelihood is just is something that we can integrate into our life and be more aware of, that no matter what job that you have, you can find, and of course there are a few that are not, that ones that you can actually incorporate into a livelihood, but that's something that you would have to pontificate on your own and see what falls in those categories for you and how you feel personally. So this concept encourages us to earn a living that aligns with our moral values, upholds integrity, and contributes positively to the world around us. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to quit your job and become a monk to practice right livelihood. Not at all. It's about the intention behind your work and the mindset that you bring to it. It's about being mindful of the consequences of our actions and making choices that reduce harm and increase benefit to others. Right livelihood encourages us to ask ourselves, is my work causing harm to others? Am I exploiting or deceiving anyone? Am I contributing negatively to the world? If the answers to these questions are a resounding no, then great news. It looks like you're on the right path here. And if it's not, it is not just about avoiding harmful work, but right livelihood also encourages us to actively seek out ways to make our work more beneficial to others. And maybe that means making your business more eco-friendly or volunteering your skills to help a local charity. The possibilities are absolutely endless. You see, right livelihood isn't just about what we do, it's about who we actually are and how we express that into the things that we do. It's about a way of living that brings our work in alignment with our deepest values, promoting a sense of purpose and fulfillment in our lives and to those around us. It's about making our work an expression of our highest selves and a force for good in this world. As you can see, right livelihood is more than just a job, right? It's about a positive impact on our work. Now let's translate a little bit. This concept, we'll translate it into our daily lives. How can we actually practice right livelihood? So picture this, you're standing at a crossroads in your career. One path you see the higher paying job, and then there might, that might not be so ethical, right? But it pays more. On the other end, you see a job that pays enough but aligns with your values and contributes positively to society. So right livelihood encourages us to choose the latter. Choose the one that maybe makes less money, but you're actually helping society, you're contributing in a positive way, and at the end of the day, you're gonna feel good about your contribution versus having, you know, these negative feelings come up about something that you're doing that is out of right livelihood. So right livelihood is encouraging us to be in alignment with our true core values in the work that we do and how we carry that out. So firstly, consider the work that you do. Is it causing harm or benefiting others? A beneficial job could be anything from teaching to healthcare to environmental conservation. You're contributing positively to society and not causing harm. On the other hand, if your job involves exploitation, dishonesty, or harming others or the environment, it might be worth reevaluating what you're doing with that, your livelihood. Secondly, honesty and integrity are keys that you're looking for here to decide if you feel that what you're doing in your livelihood is contributing in a positive manner. We have to be honest with ourselves about that. So no matter how small, carrying out your tasks with sincerity is really important. Being honest in your dealings can be the way that you are with your colleagues, your clients, your competitors. Right livelihood isn't just about what you do, but it's also about how you're doing this. Finally, remember that right livelihood isn't a one-size-fits-all. Like I said before, you're going to have to determine that by how you're resonating, what your truth really is when you take a deeper look at it. But so it's about mindful choices that align with your personal values and principles of ethical conduct. It's not about judging others for their choices, but focusing on your right path and striving to make it as ethical and beneficial as possible. It's a continuous journey and not a destination. Each day presents new opportunities to practice right livelihood. Maybe you start by recycling at work, or speaking up against unfair practices, or by simply being kinder to your colleagues. Small steps can lead to big changes. In essence, right livelihood encourages us to make ethical choices in our work and contribute positively to the world. So let's walk this path together, make the world a better place, one ethical choice at a time. We're going to get a little more into this. Let's see here. Gentleman is asking a couple questions here. How do you know if you are living the life that can contribute to the most to humanity? So, contributing to humanity is what he's speaking of. How do we know?
Just imagine a pine tree standing outside, and the pine tree is asking what it can be in order to help the world. The answer can come easily and be a healthy, beautiful pine tree. If a pine tree is vigorous, beautiful, healthy, and then every one of us will profit from it. And if a pine tree is less than a pine tree, not healthy enough, not beautiful enough, and then it will suffer, all of us. So the answer is that the most helpful thing for you to do is to be a happy human being. You should be solid, fresh, happy, and everything you do for yourself in order for you to remain solid, fresh, happy is helping all of us. So that is the problem to be, how to be healthy, how to be fresh, how to be beautiful. That is the answer.
Oh no.
And then in the question, there is the idea that if you have a profession, you have a job, because you need to make a living. So how can I choose a job in order to be more peaceful with myself and with the world, to be more helpful to myself and to the world. So this brings in the topic of right livelihood. You have to earn a living, but there are many kinds of jobs that can help you to express your joy, your compassion. So you decide to take up the kind of job that gives you a chance to be more compassionate, even if you earn less, and you are happier, even if you have to earn less. So if you are lucky, you can have a kind of job that can help you express your compassion, your love to all of us, human beings, animals, plants, and minerals. And if you don't have that kind of job, you might continue the job that you are having, and you have in mind that if the situation presents itself, that you can have a better job, a job that can help you express more of your compassion and joy, and then you are ready to take up that job, even if you have to earn less. To earn less, but to be happier, that is the suggestion. Okay?
So the impact of right livelihood is now what we're going to talk about a little bit. So what's the difference between right livelihood? What is the difference made with right livelihood? What is its impact, you might ask? Well, let's dive a little bit into that. Right livelihood can bring about profound benefits, not only just to us as individuals, but also to society as a whole. It's like casting a stone into a pond, creating ripples that extend out and beyond the initial splash that it causes. On a personal level, choosing a livelihood that aligns with our values and ethical principles can bring immense satisfaction. It's more than just earning a living. It's about making a life. When we spend our days doing work that we believe in, that we resonate with, that we feel good about, that we're using our skillful choices and actions and words, and so we're embracing the path through the work that we're doing, it's just amazing what happens. And we experience a deep sense of fulfillment that transcends. And then it's also it just transcends the feelings that you get by possibly making a little more money. Of course, the value of your happiness versus money. You can see there that we could do with a little less money if we were going to be a lot more happy. So these are things that you have to also consider. So it's about achieving peace of mind, knowing that our actions are not causing harm to others or to the world around us. But the impact of right livelihood goes beyond the individual. When a significant number of people embrace this concept, it can lead to societal change. Imagine a world where businesses prioritize ethical practices over profit, where workers are treated with dignity and respect, where the environment is cherished and protected. This is the potential ripple effect of right livelihood. In Buddhism, there's a concept known as karma. Simply put, the law of cause and effect. Our actions, thoughts, words all have consequences that can manifest in this life or the next. We can engage in right livelihood. We can essentially plant seeds of positive karma by doing so, right? We are setting in motion a cycle of goodness that can influence our lives and the lives of others around us. So you see, right livelihood isn't just about choosing an ethical profession or being a good person. It's about committing to a way of life that brings about positive change. It's about realizing that our actions matter and that we have a role to play in shaping a better world. Right livelihood isn't just about for us individually, it's beneficial for the greater good of society. So let's look at some real life examples of right livelihood. So firstly, consider the case of a farmer who adopts organic farming methods. He chooses not to use harmful pesticides that can damage the environment or health of consumers. Instead, he opts for sustainable farming techniques that nourish the soil and promote biodiversity. His profession provides him with the means of living, but it also keeps him in alignment with the practices of right livelihood because it doesn't inflict harm on others or the environment. So let's now contemplate the work of a teacher and how that goes beyond the curriculum to teach the students about compassion, empathy, respect for all beings. So this teacher that we're talking about in general doesn't just import academic knowledge, but also nurturing the development of the students. This profession is not only a means of earning a living, but also a platform to promote a more compassionate and understanding society, embodying the essence of right livelihood. Now imagine a business owner who engages in fair wages and safe working conditions for all their employees. This business owner doesn't exploit their workers or resort to unethical practices for profit. Instead, this business owner holds the principles of fairness and respect, creating a positive and supportive work environment. This business is not only generating income, but also contributing positively to the community, making it another great example of right livelihood. And lastly, we'll consider a healthcare professional who dedicates their life to serving others. This professional provides care with empathy, respect, regardless of their patient's background. The professional also allows to maintain this livelihood while providing essential services for those in need, exemplifying the concept of right livelihood. Every professional has a potential to be within right livelihood if approached with the right intention and the right action. It's all about aligning your work with your principle of non-harm, fairness, and respect for all beings. these examples show right livelihood is attainable no matter what profession you're in. So, so let's just contemplate that for just a minute, because like, if you're selling guns, if you're selling them like on the black market to just people that don't maybe have a permit or something for them or whatnot, you can see versus you know, selling sweaters in winter time, you can see the difference. So there's certain professions that you would definitely want to steer clear of to obtain right livelihood, and you don't need me to tell you specifically what those are, because your soul's going to resonate with what seems right for you and what you resonate with and don't resonate with. Okay, next we have, this is pleasure.
So verse 94 says, who amongst those who have achieved human rebirth have found the most meaningful livelihood? I think this crowd is biased. He said, those who dedicate their days and nights to goodness and happiness for all. Okay, so who amongst those who have achieved human rebirth have found the most meaningful livelihood? Those who dedicate their days and nights to goodness and happiness for all. Okay, so it's showing that it's not that the external mode of gaining your livelihood needs to be supported by the correct motivation of wanting, of caring for other sentient beings and wanting and having that long-term vision of bodhicitta. Okay, so it isn't just the external work you do or whatever, but we have to have that bodhicitta motivation. So for monastics, you know, when they talk about the way we earn our livelihood, you know, it has to be done without the 5 wrong livelihoods, yeah, of hinting to get things what we want, flattering people to get what we want, putting people in positions where they can't say no, yeah, giving a small present to get a big present, yeah, being hypocritical, pretending to be an elevated being, you know, an Arya, and, you know, isn't that person therefore so lucky to have you around that they can accumulate so much merit by making offering to you, so inflating your own status, you know, so all these kinds of things, you know, we're saying, oh, somebody else gave a better gift, you know. I mean, it all kind of comes down to coercion and hypocrisy and bribery and so forth. But, you know, instead of those kind of attitudes, it involves, what were his exact words? Dedicating your day and night to goodness and happiness for all. Okay, so it's very easy when your life depends on the generosity and kindness of others to, or even, you know, if you're not a monastic and you're a lay person working for a charity of some sort, where you're depending on people's generosity, that you start looking at people in terms of how much they can possibly give you. And that's disgusting. Yeah, it's disgusting if it happens in a monastic's minds, and I think it's equally disgusting if it happens in the minds of lay people in a charity, you know, because human beings are not just, our relationship to human beings should not be based on how they can benefit us, either materially or through who they can introduce us to, important people, blah, blah, blah. But we should really treat everybody in a similar way, wanting, working for the happiness and goodness of all, no matter whether they're rich or poor, well-connected or not. And that's really something, that I think really is quite corrupting in the world, when we start to see other people in terms of how they can, what they can do for us, because then they just become objects for, they become objects, plain and simple. We don't care about them. We just care who else they know that they can introduce us to, or how famous we can be by associating with somebody who's very famous, or, how much they can up our status, or, give us donations or whatever. And so we want to really be quite careful about having that attitude and making sure that we're constantly cultivating love and compassion and bodhicitta for others. Yeah. And similarly, for a layperson who works a regular, 9-to-5 job or 8-to-8 job nowadays, still having the motivation of bodhicitta and really caring about others, that's what is going to make your career worthwhile. Not lining up your duckies so you can climb the corporate ladder. Yeah, not playing one person against the other person in the office place so that you can make yourself look good. Not doing all these kinds of things that people often do to either get more money or more prestige in their job. It might mean talking bad about somebody else behind their back, criticizing somebody to the boss or to the manager, pretending that you did all the work on the project, but basically you just showed up the last day. Yeah, to claim some glory. So all these kinds of things that happen in one's career that, again, if we're just looking out for ourselves, it becomes very, very corrupting. Whereas if we generate bodhicitta and have a good motivation, then we can benefit our colleagues, we can benefit the customers or the clients, we can benefit the family, we can benefit ourselves through the power of our positive motivation. So that's really, really important, whether you're a lay person working at a job or a monastic, depending on donations. What it boils down to is we have to be sincere human beings. That's the bottom line. Because if we're not sincere, who are we fooling? Because the law, the workings of karma is infallible. So if we have a really corrupt motivation, that's going to come out in terms of the result we experience from our actions, even if our actions look very nice to other people in the moment. Yeah. So it's something to pay a lot of attention to. And if we have a good motivation in whatever work we do, then our work becomes really wonderful and very beneficial for all sentient beings. And it helps us in our future lives and on our spiritual path as well.
Okay, now for some
Namaste.
more chanting.
So I want to share something with you that can help you during meditations, breath work, mindfulness, just to still your mind, quiet yourself, and allow more access to
You ready?
hear your higher self.
Chanting.
Om
Yogena tutasha bodhenu vatra Vanum Travashadi
Kena, Yo Pa Karat Dim Rabadum Bodhidum Patanjalium.
We like to do this one a couple times here. If you want to try along with us this time, the words are on the screen. Om
Yogena Tutasha Bodhenu Vatra Vadum Travasha Dikena Yopa Karat Dim Rabadum Bodhidum Patanjalium. Namaste. Om Yogena Tutasha Bodhenu Vatra Adum Travasha Dikena Yopa Karat Dim Rabadum Bodhidum Patanjalium.
Alright, now we're going to clear any blockages. So if anyone has anything, any trauma, any negative thoughts, anything that keeps coming up again in your cycle and you would like to have some help to clear that now, just visualize it and see it going up like smoke into the air as I attune the energy and help release it. Yes. And now we're moving into the Reiki healing of the mind. Some contemplation. Climate of compassion.
A climate of compassion. If we could generate a climate of compassion, perhaps we would recognize that everybody becomes the person they are because of the sum of their experiences so far. So maybe then we wouldn't judge others so harshly. Contemplate this for a while today and see how it might help you in your life. Also become part of the family by joining the YouTube channel. And please like and share with others so that we can share the Reiki healing of the mind. Namaste.
Yeah, it's just let that thought settle in you a bit. You know, climate of compassion. As I said before about a couple things, is that it starts with us. First, we give ourselves space to be who we are authentically. All our little quirks and things that make us us. And we understand that that's a part of who we are, and we can't push it away and still be authentic in our truth. So then when we can extend that, when we feel that for ourselves and we get that and understand that and allow that for ourselves, hold space for that for ourselves, then naturally it's going to become a part of your energy, and you will see that it is extending to other beings, other humans, other energies. And so it's really a beautiful thing that happens when we cultivate it for ourselves, and it just becomes a part of who you are, and naturally you're going to align that up with your conversations with people, with your interactions with people. You're going to be judging them less and having a compassion about their authentic truth, where they are on their path, and just loving them in accordance with love, and just giving that space to them to also go through their path as they're meant to in their time. So thank you. Just give a little contemplation to that on your own too. So today we have taken quite a journey exploring the concept of right livelihood in Buddhism. We've peeled back the layers of its meaning, understanding that it's not just a guideline for ethical work, but also a path towards fulfilling and harmonious life. We've seen how practical applications of right livelihood can transform our day-to-day experiences, infusing them with purpose and compassion. We've also delved into the impacts of living by this principle, recognizing the power to not just shape the individual lives, but to ripple it outward and reaching others in the world around us. We've seen real-life examples of right livelihood, individuals who embody this practice and the principles, inspiring us with their stories. In embracing right livelihood, we align our work, our values, to creating a life that reflects who we truly are, and not just about our earnings, but about contributing and making our mark in a way that resonates with our deepest truths. So thank you so much for joining us today on this journey. And remember that livelihood isn't just about making a living, it's about making a difference. So thank you so much. So each week I offer up some homework, some mindfulness that we can do, participate in, and be aware of over the week. So this week's homework is going to be analyze your job in accordance with right livelihood this week. What are ways that you can implement right livelihood into your specific career? So whatever your career is, are there ways that you can practice more right livelihood, skillful actions within the career that you're currently in? And if you are instantly saying, oh no, I can't, that is not my job. So then maybe contemplate, what are your passions? What are your joys? Where are your curiosities? Because they may be guiding you to the appropriate livelihood that you're meant for in this path. And sometimes we sidestep that by choosing unskillfully a career that maybe makes more money instead of the opportunity that maybe we had to stay in alignment with our passion. And so we almost exchange out money for our happiness and our livelihood there. So just being aware, doing a little analysis of that for yourself so that you can gauge where you are on this path with right livelihood. So lastly, consider healthcare professionals who dedicate their life to serving others. And just see how you can implement that too. See if there's ways that you can do more, and by the way of helping your job cater more to others and not just solely yourself. So we're finishing up today. And I just want to open the floor if there's any questions or anything that we can discuss now. Just let me know that, and we can make a little discussion around that. So. Everybody's just letting it soak in. Excellent. All right, so we are going to say goodbye for now. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next Sunday. Namaste.